Everybody, as you can see, practice is just about completed here tonight at Daytona. It's going to be 75 laps tonight at Daytona in the evening for the Area 51 Superspeedway Cup Series. So again, thank you all for joining us this evening with Green White Checkered TV. So we're going to let these drivers finish up their practice laps here. Everybody's trying to figure out how they can make that push work, how they can get in and out of the pits as quick as possible. And of course, they're going to make a charge here for this race this evening. So we're going to let these guys do their qualifying laps here in just a second, and then we'll rejoin you in just a moment. Alright, so welcome everybody to Green White Checkered TV. Tonight we've got 75 laps tonight here at Daytona with the Area 51 Racing League Superspeedway Cup Series. It's going to be 75 scheduled laps tonight. Let's say again, 2 faster pairs and up to 3 attempts of a green white checkered finish. I'm noticing during practice a few new names and faces that we'll probably be learning as this race goes on. So looking forward to kind of getting to know everybody here with the league. It's going to be a lot of fun. And joined this evening by one of the Area 51 admins / commentators / racers, Roy Wheeler. Roy, really pleased to have you with me again tonight. I had a lot of fun with you last week, and it should be another exciting one that we've got this evening.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here again. Ready to watch some more Super Speedway. Like I said, I'd rather watch it than drive these things because they keep you on the edge of the seat for 75 laps, a couple hours, and man, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it's definitely a different kind of racing than the normal racing, obviously, with this one. Pretty much if you're on the lead lap coming to that white flag, you're always in contention for the win. There's just so much that always is up for grabs there. So I know I was able to finally race with you guys on Friday, and just unfortunately wasn't able to pull it off. I was in the contention, just didn't go to plan for me.
Yeah, it was a fun evening. First time I think I raced with you. It's pretty good until some mechanical issues there, but it was a good time. So we have some good faces here. Who do you think's one of the favorites tonight?
It's gonna be hard for me to go against that team that works all together. It's obviously Raymond Rittenauer, Gabe Butler, and then the rest of that team that works together as well. I think Dale Willoughby's in that group. Kevin Hash. I think Logan Helton runs with them as well. I've talked about that teamwork with those guys, and I mean they've got it down to a science. It feels like even when it's like those two in contention for the win. where someone has the opportunity to maybe jump to the top and try to maybe see if they can sneak the lead away from somebody else or from their teammate. They stay right in line. They work with their teammate all the way through. So just the unselfishness of those guys doing it, it's gonna be hard to compete against. But I've definitely seen a lot of drivers pick up their game from season 4 to season 5. So I think that's going to just add a little bit of pressure on them to same thing. Probably have to step their game up that little much more. Maybe work on the pit strategies, things of that nature.
Yeah, I agree with you. That I think that team is Low Line Racing. I hope I get that right. Yeah, I think they're always strong, always hard to pass. Work so well together. It's amazing. Then you got to watch some drivers like Logan. He's always really good at these tracks. Charles Johnson's another good driver that you got to watch out for. Then, can't leave out the fan club here. You got Josh, and it looks like he might have a teammate pushing him tonight. If he gets locked up with someone and can team up with someone, I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and it's exactly right. As teammates are critical here, having somebody to work with. So say it looks like we're starting to get the grid here starting to form for that heat race. So say we've mentioned before is the top 23 are locked into the field. 24th on back are going to do a heat race to get those final grid positions. So we'll go through the starting grid of our top 23 here real quick, and then we'll go ahead and then get up. So you'll see our starting grid here for this evening. Saying some of those we just talked about right there in the top 4 positions there. Gabe Butler, Raymond Rittenauer, Dude Conrad, Kevin Hash. I believe those are all part of that same team. So right there off the bat, Joe Delavecchia, Kevin Freese, Matt Quick, I believe, may be working with them as well in those top 4 spots. You mentioned Logan Helton. He starts 8th. And from 9th through 16th, you see those drivers there. Say another one you mentioned there, Charles Johnson starting in 11th. Say he's definitely one, like you mentioned, definitely has some pretty good speed at these plate races. I've always felt like Dale Willoughby is one to contend with, but his luck has been just so terrible in these plate races lately. So we'll see if he can maybe turn that around tonight. And these are the remainder who made it here on the grid. So you see Josh Sichterman there starting 19th. He is locked into the race, and I don't think we have 43, so everybody who is in should be able to make the race this evening, but he doesn't have to worry about this heat race. Right now the last driver that made it in on time is that the 90 of John Brill in 23rd. See Charles Teedy in that 05 car. He's going to start 24th, he's going to grid 24th, which is actually going to have him be on the pole position here for this heat race.
Yeah, I think one you might want to watch out for is Jack Walls in that 83 Pennzoil car. The guy has some kind of fuel strategy he always uses. So I think he won last week, actually. So he's one to keep an eye out on.
Actually, I'm mistaken. We're not doing the heat race. It looks like we're going to green here, so I'm going to go through the remainder of the field. Apologies. So you can see the other drivers here, 25th through 32nd. So you see Mitchell Wilkes there in the 71, and obviously, I'm sure going to be working with that 17 of Chad Wilkes if they're able to get hooked up together. And you've got 33rd through 40th. Looks like a few of those drivers did not take a time, so they're going to start here in the back. All right, so that is our field this evening. So up front is going to be that one of Gabe Butler. He's going to lead the way this evening. I say he's going to have a lot of friends around him to start things off here. Again, I believe those top 4 are all part of that same team, and we talked about how well they work together. So we're going to see if that continues on tonight, which, again, I would not be surprised if we do see that again. And unfortunately for the rest of the field, it's going to be a little harder to make those passes. Talladega, you can definitely put that 3-wide move pretty easily. Here it's a little narrower, so it's a little trickier to try to make that 3-wide happen. You can definitely do it, but you got to be kind of right on top of things. The other big thing to watch is that yellow line right there. You can see as they go through turns 3 and 4. If you touch that yellow line, that car is going to want to snap around on you. So you want to get as close to it as you can, but don't go on top of it, because that will make your night not go so well, and probably not so well for those around you also.
It looks like we have Chad Wilkes and Brandon Thomas and Josh. I know Josh is running one of my cars, but you also have Chad and Brendan running Charles Johnson's cars, and it looks like all three of them are starting in the back together. So watch those guys to move up through the field.
Yeah, exactly right. Green flag is out, and we're underway tonight. Again, scheduled 75 laps tonight here at Daytona. And yeah, you're definitely going to see some mixed strategy for some of these drivers. Some are probably just going to try to cruise in the back. Others are going to definitely try to control the pace of this race. So I think you're going to see those out front definitely want to try to lead the way here as we go through the backstretch for the first time. You see a few drivers there moving off to the inside, letting that pack go by, and they're going to try to hop back into the back of the draft, entering turn number 3.
Probably just going to stay back here and try to just run it out and stay out of trouble, and hopefully have a green flag stop and kind of spread it out a little bit and see what the field ends up.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And that's kind of the mindset I usually try to do. Is I just want to be like that last car in the main lead pack. Don't want to lose the draft, of course, which unfortunately looks like John Mullins may have fallen off the back of the pack here, so he's going to be in a bit of trouble. But at the same time, though, yeah, say if my ideal situation is kind of be at the back of this main pack here, and just be kind of right. Actually, I think the perfect example here is going to be. I'm trying to catch which car number that is. I'm trying to hunt him down here on the ticker. I think it's Ted Deckard. I'm going to jump over to him. Yeah, you can see right here in the Lowe's car here, he's right at the back of that lead draft. He's got a nice gap behind him as well. So he's kind of just in a nice little clean pocket here. Nobody really close around him. Has got room to react if something happens in front, but really nobody behind him at all. So let's say this is, if I'm racing, I'm where Ted is right now. This is kind of exactly where I just want to cruise right here. So we'll see if that pans out for him so far. Let's say again, really early laps here, only on lap number 3 of the scheduled 75. Saying right now up front though, those top 4, say you can see all this top 20 pretty much just running pretty much pace laps, but at about 200 miles an hour.
That's quite the fast pace lap.
It is. I was saying, imagine caution laps at 200 miles an hour. It'd make these races go much quicker.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't see too much 3-wide racing like we do at Talladega here at Daytona, but hopefully they'll all keep it together and we'll have a long green flag race.
Yeah, I'm saying if we do get that long green flag run, that definitely opens up the pit strategy as well. You see that one in the 87 car, they're going to be using the most fuel out of everybody because, again, their foot's to the floor. However, that 8 car, the 03 car, while they're the first ones pushing, they're still going to be having to either roll the brake a little bit or left off the gas a little bit because you can't just stay locked up onto the bumper of that car in front of you because you'll overheat and blow your motor, or risk wrecking the guy in front of you. So these drivers in mid-pack, especially like you see where Matt Quick is in that 89 car, that multicolored Grumpy Cat car, he's going to be able to save a lot of fuel here.
Red already in the back.
Trying to see if we can find it here. It doesn't look like a yellow. Yellow is out for that incident. Trying to see who that started with. It's like the 084 is slowed down here. Oh, looks like Todd Merkel I see in the 81. Oh, he tried to get back on track. He gets hit hard there by the 99 car. That's not what you wanted to see there, and he might actually be stuck on the banking here as well. Oh, so he's getting it off now. So let's go and see what happened to bring out this first incident. All right, I'll pull it up here. Looks like it may have started around the 17, the 199, and then the 12 cars that go through the tri-oval here.
I couldn't tell if
I think Josh may have caught the apron. Yeah, I'm going to try to get a better angle of this, but I think he may have just touched the yellow line there. We talked about how dangerous that is. So I'm going to hop on board with a 3 car. We'll see if we can get a better angle of this. We talked about that yellow line being bad, and so looking, yeah, Josh just touched the yellow line, and then that made it step out from around. You can see that 3 Brandon Thomas just sneaking around him there. Then behind contact between that 12 of Robert Richards, Todd Merkel, 05, and the 3 gets clipped as well. So that sends him for a spin. I'll say if he can keep it straight, which, wow. I'm going to go back to the onboard of that 3 car because that's some amazing hands on that 3 car for that save here. Let's go back and let's watch this again.
Yeah, at first I thought Robbie Richards got into the back of him, but as I was watching some different angles, unfortunately, it looks like Josh just barely clipped that yellow. And here at Daytona, you touch that yellow, you're going to go for a ride.
I don't think I've ever seen fast hands as that 3 car is able to make that 360 spin after getting hit as hard as he did. So hats off to him. That's an amazing save. A little bit of left rear damage, but I think he could just get that fixed without using a fast repair here. That's kind of the strategy I would take. So a little bit of mixed strategy on drivers staying out or taking tires here. I'll say definitely unfortunately a few involved in this incident. Going to be some drivers needing to use some of those fast repairs, like Todd Merkel for sure. I believe also that 99 of Mark Rubilis is going to need some damage repaired as well. So again, looks like we are under caution. Right now it's kind of a mixed bag of pit strategy here, so we'll step away for just a moment and we'll get things going again here on in a second here. Alright, lights are off in the pace car. You see a couple of those drivers running the apron, trying to save as much as fuel as possible here. Right now it looks like the top 15 all stayed out. First one to make a pit stop there is the 28 of Charles Johnson. He's going to start 16th. Looks like he went with fuel only. And saying it had a couple top off at the very end there. So I think I saw some of the front runners actually, which surprises me a little bit. Like Raymond Rittenauer, Kevin Hash, to say Matt Quick, they all jumped in here on the one to go. So say a little bit of mixed strategy between these teammates up front here, so we'll see if that changes anything up towards the front. I say have a few new drivers here now in that second row with that 052 of Joe Delavecchia and then the 25 of Kevin Freese.
They might be expecting a long run, so they might have just came in to top it off and get back out there.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. I say, yeah, just I saw your message on here, Maxine. I hope you're doing well, and say I'm sure the drivers appreciate the good luck. I say it's definitely one where you need it here at these races for sure. So we're going to restart here on lap number 9, coming to 67 to go. Again, right now our top drivers have pretty much all stayed the same since the start. Not a lot of changes happened since we've been running pretty much 200-mile-an-hour pace laps since we got going. But pace car is off, and we're going to get things going again right now. And right now, again, Gabe Butler going to lead the way through the start-finish line.
I was listening to some in-car chat, and yeah, that's exactly what happened. Josh admitted that he just barely touched that line. So unfortunate, but it's still early in the race. Still early. They have the fast repair. Unfortunately, probably had to use one. And at these tracks, you want to keep them as long as possible. But still early. They got plenty of time to work their way up front.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like we talked about. I mean, if you're in the lead lap, you are still in contention. You see that 8 of Dude Conrad. He's actually going to grab the lead here. Got a good push on that top side. He's going to sneak right up in front of that one of Gabe Butler. So that's going to give us a new leader here. Saw one a little further back, just touched the apron, but looks like he's able to keep things gathered up and stay under green. But right now, though, so now that top line is going to be that 25 and the 7 working together. That's Dale Willoughby and Kevin Freese. We'll see if he's able to push that 25 up to the front. But right now, again, leading the way is that 8 car of Duke Conway.
We have a couple of drivers that are lost a lap or two on that, but like I said, it's early. So see one driver, Todd Merkel, he's a lap down. Mark's a couple lap down, and then it looks like Eugene Vernon, he's about 4 laps down. I don't know if he's disconnected or if he's still in or not, but Lucky Dog, a couple incidents, they'll be right back into it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So right now, obviously, the ideal position is going to be that 81 of Todd Merkel, because right now he is the first car. He's the only car 1 lap down, whereas Mark is 2, like you mentioned. But again, if someone gets involved in the incidents, then if there's a caution, they won't get the lucky dog. So it's still possible for Mark or Eugene to get it should the other drivers be involved in these incidents. So so you never know. So we always have to kind of wait and see.
I'm looking at the back of Josh's car, and it looks like he did not use a quick repair. He's got a little bit of damage in the back end of his car, but it shouldn't affect him too much being back there.
Yeah, usually back end damage here at the plate races is not too bad at all. So I'm trying to see as we watch the leaders up front, trying to hunt down Josh here. Okay, I lost him. I don't know where he went. Oh, there's 023, right?
Second pack back there.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry. There we go. Oh, yeah, there's a couple of cars with a little bit of damage in this group, like you mentioned. So, yeah, Josh is pretty much square in the back. That's not too bad. I saw one a little bit further up. So I want to see if the 3 used the fast repair in his car or not. Car looks clean, so he may have had to. I'm not sure, but I thought I saw 61 showing also. Evan Pienta, I thought I saw a little bit of damage. Yeah, so it looks like on the back of that 61 car, a little bit of damage there as well. But not too bad. It's saying that, again, I don't think it's going to affect things too much. Really, the nose is the critical thing, and that's only if you're leading the pack. So I think right now these guys are all going to be still in pretty good shape here as this race continues on.
Yep, there's Matt. Stay patient, keep with it. Like I said, it's way early.
Yeah, but like you said, though, definitely has a split pack right now. The top 18 looks like Eric Schaus is the last one on this group here. Again, I talked about Ted Deckard. He's doing exactly the same thing as before, right at the tail end of this lead pack. In my opinion, again, the perfect place to be. But then from there on back, starting with looks like the 084 of Len McNeese. That's now the leader of the second pack. Well, actually, it's changed now. It looks like now it is the 024 of John Woodruff leading the second group. OC looks like he just touched the apron there as well. He's got a little bit of a wiggle here. You got John Burley. He's going to actually dive into the pits there. So I don't think he won't have gotten down to speed in time, unfortunately, for that one. But yeah, so that was a bit of a moment for him here. So the second group, though, is definitely losing touch with the leaders. While I'm watching their lap times that last time around, they were about a second slower. So they're going to need to try to form up a little better here if they want to try to close this gap back down.
Yeah, I'm up here with the front pack watching right now. It looks like they're pretty content just driving nose to tail here and driving around. So far, so good.
Yeah, I was saying again, we talked about some new names, new faces. I say one that looks not familiar to me at the moment is that 023 of Josh Garner, running right now in that 10th position in that Crown Royal paint scheme there. In front of him, Brendan Pasalacqua. I believe I know I've seen the name before. I think he's been running with us at least since the start of the season. I think also Joe Delvecchia. I think he has been running a little bit in season 4 as well. So got a few new names, but yeah, like you said, though, I think this group here, I think they're kind of the vets, if you will. Say they've been here, they've done that, so they kind of know the drill. Whereas say some of those drivers in that second pack are maybe a little bit newer to this, and we're going to have to try to work around each other and kind of learn each other too as they try to regain this draft.
I don't see too much bump drafting going on. A little bit on that outer line. It looks like number 7 car is trying to push 25 up to the front.
Yeah, saying Dale's definitely been a really good pusher in that 7 car. Again, he's had a lot of pace. He's done a really good job of being able to push teammates to the front and everything. Just it seems like when the incidents occur, he somehow finds a way to always get involved, unfortunately. So again, hoping if Dale can turn the luck around, I think he'd be in a lot better shape and have a good chance at being able to get at least a top 3 tonight.
Yeah, and that's the thing about plate racing here. A lot of it is luck.
Yeah, it really is. And I'm saying, looking at the ticker here, looks like we got a few now still. So it looks like John Burrell's still in the pits there. I think he may have, again, that may be a stop and hold penalty for getting into the pits too soon. But as I said, it looks like yellow is out. It looks like the 88 of Michael Spell is involved. I'm trying to see if there's anybody else in this one as well. You can see he's waiting for the field to clear before he tries to get back around on track. As I same thing, he's going to get hooked on the banking here, so he's going to try to have to back it down the hill and spin it around a different way. Let's see what brought out this second caution. Actually, it looks like it was just a little bit in front of these guys here. Let me go back a little bit. So it looks like it was contact initially between the 47 and the 61 here. It's Evan Pienta, and the 47 is Dalton Hayes. And you see Dalton get into the left rear a little bit of Evan there. And you can see that kind of seems like it kind of stacked things up a little bit. I'm going to try to look in the background here as I saw, oh, actually I see the 88 coming around.
Yeah, it might be actually the number 12 car that caused up the checkup all the way to the back there. He touched the line and kind of got.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now. So as we look through, oh, you're right.
Could have been separate incidents.
Yeah, actually, it was probably one of those reaction incidents. Yeah, I see the 12 car touches the apron, the entry of 3. And that kind of stacks the field. If you see close contact, oh yeah, actually that pushes the 76 into the 71, and yeah, that's what it was the drivers around were then reacting to that, and then unfortunately, say just the accordion effect, if you will, it got back to Michael Spell, and I think he may have got a little bit of help from that 001 of Eugene Verdon. Again, nothing intentional. Oh, and a heavy contact for that 03, and also I believe that's the 05 here. So heavy contact for a few of these drivers here. So that's what brought us back under the yellow. And you see that 03 just trying to get things going as fast as he can backwards and spins it back around. Oh, and he catches the inside wall pretty severely. So not what he was hoping for there. So yeah, we are back under yellow here. Looks like most of the fields went ahead and made some pit stops. So again, we'll step away for just a moment, and then we'll get the grid resorted here in just a moment. All right, lights are off of the pace car. It looks like, again, a little bit of strategy here. So we got now the 72 of Eric Schaus is staying out. He's gonna have the lead here. However, he has not pitted. Actually, he has not pitted yet this race. I'm a little nervous about this strategy. He's gonna be a little bit tight. He won't be able to go too far before he has to make a green flag pit stop, and that's not something you want to do by yourself. And you get the 64 of John Mullins. He's got about 13 laps on this run. However, everybody else made pit stops under this caution flag. Looks like Dude Conrad is going to be the first out of the pits there. Looks like fuel only for all those drivers towards that top 10 or so. And yeah, so we're going to restart here on lap number 20 with 56 to go. Showing drivers that are back on the lead. Right now we got 35 on the lead lap. Ryan Wachter showing as the last car on the lead lap. Todd Merkel still 1 down, John Brill 2 down, Dwight Plush is 2 down, and then Mark Rebellis is showing us 3 down, and Eugene Vernon 4 down at the moment. Alright, pace car is in, waiting for that green flag to fly. That's going to get us back underway. Eric Schaus leading the way here. John Mullins to his outside. And like I say, so a little bit different faces on this front row. So we're going to see now what that 8 and the 1 are able to do. They're definitely going to probably want to get their way back to the front here. But we'll see. Again, they're going to have to kind of do a little bit of strategy here to try to get back up there if they can push one of the other to the front. But right now the inside line definitely has a little bit of momentum right now. Eric Schaus leading the way. Right behind him, he's got Dude Conrad, Logan Helton in that third line, or in the third row there, and the 25 of Kevin Freese following along as well. So, as I said, the top line's been picking up momentum, and so here comes John Mullins back to the top with help from that one of Gabe Butler. And so that's coming around here through 3 and 4. We're going to come around to 55 to go at the line. So Eric's going to lead that lap that time around. Again, looks like everybody's kind of same thing, running pretty much 2x2. Say there is a little bit of strategy I think involved here for these two drivers up front, trying to get some of that track position that we've talked about. Eric started 26th, John started 28th, so that's gonna, I mean, that's obviously a big gain for them, being able to pull a strategy to see if it works out for them or not. That's going to be the trick. One driver that's actually a little further back from where they started is Raymond Rittenauer, started second, still showing them 24th now. Remember, he pitted there a little earlier. And saying unfortunate as well, Kevin Hash in that last incident in that 0-3 started 4th, currently running in 33rd. But again, we're only at lap at 21, 55 to go, 54 at the line, so still a long ways to go here. Hope you're doing well, Cody. Yeah, right now Joe is running in the 9th position, started 5th, so he's been pretty much up front most of the night. So one of those things, just got to get the track position, get in the right line at the right time. So far so good for Joe. He's been trying to keep it clean, stay out of trouble. But yeah, definitely having a good run thus far in the evening. So hopefully no commentators curse for him. But yeah, definitely appreciate you joining us. And then we'll do some quick updates as well for Josh Sichterman. Right now is showing in the 22nd position. Again, still early on. You can still see a little bit of that rear damage. He's just I think he's just going to live with that for now. No point using a faster parallel. Now that car's going to drive just fine. And then the 3 of Brandon Thomas is right there with him. And same thing. Looks like actually a little bit of right rear. So if I saw that correctly there. Yeah, it looks like maybe a little bit of left rear, damage. But same thing. I don't think that's going to affect him too bad here. He's running in the 27th position. Again, I think these guys are just kind of in cruise mode right now until business starts to pick up here later on in the race.
One driver we didn't talk about was Eric up front right now. You know, most of the races, even other than Superspeedway, he seems to find his way to the front a lot. I know his wife's usually out there watching, so big shout out to her. Then we got the 16-year-old Wonder Boy back here in about 5th place, so you got to watch out for him too. Yeah,
so you're exactly right. I'd say it's really cool having friends, family members be able to be a part of this and watch them race. It's definitely a lot of fun. So I'm a little nervous about Eric's pit strategy here. He's still actually yet to pit, so I kind of wonder, I mean, at what point, Roy, I mean, because again, you don't want to pit by yourself here at Daytona, but he's going to potentially be forced to have to. As you see right there, 64, John Mullins is going to get to the front here, which actually might be a blessing in disguise for Eric, because now Eric can just try to save some fuel here following that 64 car.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that part. Yeah, he's gonna probably want to stay behind that car as long as possible.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, maybe it'll open up the window, because I mean, it might be one of those things where drivers might decide to pit here once that window opens. Because again, right now we think the fuel window is roughly around 25 or so laps, depending on if you're leading or saving fuel or whatnot. So I think the window for pitting to make it to one more stop after this one would be opening here in another lap or two. So maybe he's hoping that he can jump in and they would pit with him. The only thing though is he would have to put a lot more fuel in with those other drivers, so he'd have to be careful to try to stay in that draft. So And then saying, and of course, now our leader, John Mullins, as well. He's actually gone about, this will be 20 laps since he last pitted. So they've got, again, about 12 to 15 more laps than those drivers up in front.
It'll be interesting. We've had a couple of races this past week that came down to fuel strategy, so it might come to that down to that again tonight.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I believe those are Thursday race. I'm blanking on names now, of course, but it'll say the race winner, say he pitted for fuel, and everybody else stayed out thinking they'd get another yellow, and it went green the rest of the way. And I mean, he got to lead on merit, but then he also had enough fuel to the end where everybody else there had to top off at the very end. So
yeah, that's right. That we had I think it was Levi Cox, Jack Walls, and Robbie Richards. All three of those came into pit at the very last caution, and it paid off for them.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Those three there. And some of those other drivers up front, they'd had to top off at the end. But you can see that top line really working there. See those two, actually, Gabe Butler and Eric Laurie now able to lead that bottom line. Oh, close quarters on the inside line there as they were trying to squeeze to the bottom. That's going to move Gabe Butler now into the lead again. Say he was our pole sitter this evening, but he's brought Eric Laurie along for the ride. Say now here comes that top line again. Say we had the fan of that 052 Joe Della Vecchia rooting for him here a little earlier on Facebook. Say Joe leading this top line on here. He say he's actually going to go for the lead here, going 2 by 2 as they go through the line. He's going to come across in the second position. But if he can get a good push from Dale Willoughby, which again we've talked about, Dale is a really good pusher. We'll see if that might get Joe up to the front here.
What happened to one of my favorites, Gabe Butler? I don't see him up here in the top.
Oh no, Gabe's leading the race right now.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, it's like, wait, what are you looking at?
Red paint scheme. I didn't even notice it. He had the.
Yeah, he's updated the paint scheme. Yeah, say I'm used to that bright red one as well. So say what's going to be careful about here though is they're going to be coming up on lap traffic here. I believe this is the 001, and say this is where things get a little bit dicey here. You can see he's going to have to. Oh, this is not going to go well if that 001's going to need to go a little further up to the wall here. Oh, as they say that he gets into the wall a little bit. So we'll keep an eye. It looks like he might. Oh yeah, okay.
That was a good save.
That's a nice call there. Oh nope, we got trouble in the back here. I couldn't tell where it started, but I'd say it was kind of an accordion effect from that. Looks like the 84 Andrew Schrader was involved. So he's going to try to get it looped back around. All right, let's go back and see. Yes, and unfortunately, I think it was just kind of that. We talked about that accordion effect. And I think that's kind of what bit him there. Say, because it looked like James Ledford was trying to let that 001 of Eugene Vernon back into the line to help him out, but then you can see this top line started getting stacked up pretty badly here. So let's get a better angle here. Oops, let's go there. You see that 084 tries to get to the bottom. You see the 84 then tries to check up. They make a little bit of contact, lose a lot of momentum. And then here you can already see the 199 Josh Sichterman had his tires locked up. But yeah, say the 84, the 023 make contact. Say it looks like just the two of them may have only been the ones involved, which would be pretty impressive for that pack that they were in there. And so sure enough, it looks like those are the two that were in this incident here. Let's see, 84 trying to get to the apron here, then try to get back on it here. Probably got a little too greedy on the gas. Got a little again, throttle gets a little aggressive when you're upset. So that's going to put us back under yellow, and I believe this is going to be a huge benefit here now for where did he go?
Eric might be able to pit finally.
Yeah, so you're going to see Eric Schaus in the pits for sure. But I say we'll see if the rest of the leaders come in here or not. It looks like they are. Again, this is going to be that window where they can make it now on one more stop. But I'm curious to see is how far back will that 072, or sorry, how far back will the 72 drop, because he's going to need to put a lot more fuel in than the rest of the field. So he entered around the 9th position, I believe. So we'll see where he cycles out.
That's one thing about Daytona. When you come up on lap cars like that lead group, right in a corner, it can be a scary situation, and unfortunately, dropping back into line just caused a big stack up.
Yeah, so it's there's usually no good way of doing that with keeping any momentum at all. So unfortunately, that's how that yellow occurred there. As I see, so I saw someone just blow by the pace car again. Their lap back. That's going to be Todd Merkel. He's going to get that car back onto the lead lap here. So that's going to give us 35 again on the lead lap. Showing, I believe we're going to have a few drivers take the wave arounds here. Showing John Brill, I believe, in the 90. Oh, actually, no, as I say that, he's actually trapped behind our race leader, I believe, at 28 of Charles Johnson. So I believe Charles did not pit there, nor did Mitchell Wilkes in the 71. Although Mitchell's showing a fair bit further back. So we'll see if Charles stays out here or if he's going to pit. May have just wanted to get a lap lead potentially, but I think we do have the quick yellow, so it actually may be... Yeah, I'm not sure. So we'll let everything cycle through here, and then we'll get our running order in a moment on this one to go. All right, lights are off of the pace car. Charles Johnson, so he did stay out here, so he's going to be on about 13, 14 lap less of fuel than the rest of the field. To say again, I don't know if he'll be able to make it on the one stop from here. It'd be tight if he's able to, but I think he's still short though. So he might be banking on some yellows here, but may just want to try to get some track position here. So next to him is going to be our pole sitter, Gabe Butler, again in that number 1 car. In third is Joe Della Vecchia, so we mentioned him just a little bit ago in that 052. And then that in the 4th position is that 071 of Eric Laurie. So you see 2 drivers trying to catch up to the back of the field here on this restart. It's going to be that 81 of Todd Merkel and 71 of Mitchell Wilkes. They might be able to get back there, but we're going to get back to green here. They're going to have a big head of steam, so hopefully they can draft together and get back to the front. However, though, Charles Johnson does not get a great start here. That's going to be a huge benefit for Gabe Butler. He's going to drop down right off the bat. He's going to take over the lead of this race here. So I say now Eric Laurie is going to be hoping he can get a little bit of help here, which I don't think is too far away from that 8 car. Of Dude Conrad, and then that 63 of Logan Helton. I think you're going to see those 3 locked up pretty well here, and then probably try to make a charge here on that top side.
Yeah, it looks like Eric lost a few places, but I think he's still in a good position here. He's got Matt Quick behind him, and he's a heck of a super speedway driver.
Yeah, I think Eric's going to be in pretty good shape there. He's going to not lead the top line. He's going to run this top line as well. So you can see they're making some pretty good momentum and saying get the other Eric Laurie. He's going to get to the front with that big push from the 8 of Dude Conrad. So that's going to move that 71 to the front. But I think that's only going to be short-lived because here comes that 8 of Dude Conrad with a big push from Logan Helton here. I think we'll see some pretty good momentum here on this top side out of turn 2. And sure enough, there goes Dude to the bottom. He's going to take the lead now. So now it's going to be Logan Helton trying to lead this top side. He's got help from John Mullins now in that 64. And then behind them, I believe is the 68 of Mark Brown. I haven't really talked about Mark too much lately, but a really good run for him as well. So right now running in that top 5 or so position. But up front though, that 63 trying to get the lead here right now. Needs a little bit more help. You can see though they're not they're not staying too lined up on the outside line. That's going to cost them some momentum here.
Yeah, it looks like the 68 drifted a little too high on that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so difficult to be able to stay right locked onto it. Saying I'll say actually probably perfect when the show is going to be the one of Gabe Butler here. We'll hop on board with him, and literally all you're going to see here is John Deere, hopefully a little bit of yellow line and some spoiler. So I mean, so say when you're driving like this is all you really see, and this is why it's so easy to hit that yellow line. Because you just don't have a lot of line of sight. Like right now, dude Conrad in the 8 car, he's loving life. You can see everything perfectly fine up in front of him. But the rest of these guys behind, they're in much closer quarters and saying there's not much for you to see.
Yeah, I know Friday night running the Xfinity Series during practice, I had Gabe Butler behind me pushing me, and man, there's no one you want behind you. He can push, and you don't feel any. You're not worried about anything happening.
Yeah, so there's definitely an art to it, and he's definitely got it. But right now, though, that push was exactly what the 63 of Logan Helton needed. He's got to the front. He's going to go to the inside. Saw John Mullins try to see if he could fill that gap as well, but wasn't able to clear it. But it actually might be a blessing in disguise here, because John's going to get a really nice momentum here out of turn number 4. He's got help again from the 68 of Mark Brown. That time by Logan's going to lead that lap, but I say again though, it looks like up front though, it's still going to, I say kind of going to be another big battle here. So now it's going to be up for John to try to get some help here from Mark Brown.
Eric's working his way up to about 6th place, 5th, 6th place. He's on the move.
Yeah, exactly right. He's that 3rd car in that top line, that blue and teal 72. So he's been able to recover really well. And saying also that we mentioned that 64 of John Mullins, he was also in a not as dire fuel strategy as the 72, but he was also going to have to pit pretty soon. So now he's the leading car on the top group. So really good job by John as well, recovering from that incident. Not incident, but recovering from the yellow, having to have that longer pit stop for fuel. So he's in a really good position here as well right now.
And I thought I'd go back to one of the fan favorites, Josh. He's running back there. He's got some pretty good drivers with him. He's got Robbie Richards in front of him. He's got Michael Spell behind him. It looks like they're just kind of running around trying to stay out of some trouble right now. Hopefully get a good push at the very end. Maybe get a green flag stop or something and work their way to the front. As I say that, it looks like he's
he goes 3 wide here. Back to 2 wide. So we actually just crossed the halfway point, but again, they're still in that lead pack, so this is exactly where, again, this is where I'd want to be, is right where they are, Michael Spell, right in that little area. I don't know, to me that's where I feel the most safe. So, however, I believe at the line, I think John Mullins actually led that last lap while we're taking a look at that. So you can see he's got a really good push from this top line with Mark Brown there, Eric Schaus as well. Looks like he's just about cleared, couldn't quite get there. But again, though, that 68 Mark Brown, he's going to have to be careful, though, because he definitely can't push too long and too hard, because that's a risk for him to get that car hot.
And then further back, again, it looks like we have Brandon Thomas and Josh just hooked up, so let's see what they can do together.
Oh, yep, there you are, the 3 and the 199 here locked on the inside. So right on the inside, there's not much you can do. But it's always reassuring to have a friend or a teammate with you there. You can see Josh in that Roy Wheeler design car, and then the 3 in the Area 51 paint scheme as well. So definitely that's always what you want to see when you got some cars around you, those guys you're familiar with and comfortable with. That'll definitely help you go a long ways here.
Another driver we haven't talked much about, he does this every race, is James Ledford back here in the number 48 car. He'll just hang out in the back the entire race, and the next thing you know, he's in the top 3.
Yeah, I'd say James is definitely a tricky one. However, I think this one we're being tricked on, because I believe that one actually tonight is Ted Decker here. Is it the Lowe's car?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but you're right though. No, but that is exactly what James would be doing, and saying so maybe Ted's going to channel his inner lead foot tonight. So say he has been having a pretty good run this evening. I've been mentioning as well. That's kind of what I'd be doing for him. What he's doing right now as well is just kind of trying to cruise and stay in that main draft, but not too far forward just in case for those incidents. So like for me personally, I love where Michael Spelge and Brooks and they are. That's where I feel the most comfortable right now. I'll say, of course, later on the race, you're going to definitely have to go for it. But I'll say we just passed halfway. We know there's a green flag pit stop still to come. So, yeah, there's a lot that can happen between now and then. Yeah, I'm going to go and try to find some of these drivers we haven't had a chance to chat about. Right now, showing right around that top 10 spot is David Leclerc, though, in that 50 car. Started in the 15th position, is currently running 10th, so he's gained a few spots from the start. Corey Lane as well. Corey's right in that. He's actually right behind him here. Started 14th, showing 12th. So he's as well having a pretty good run this evening. I'm saying there. I think it's John Woodruff, I believe, in the 024. Yeah, the Nationwide car on the outside line. They say he's running in the 15th spot. Started 33rd, so huge gain for him. And I say definitely got to mention Art Peck as well in that Ford Mustang Cobra paint scheme on his car. Really nice chrome layout on that one. I say started 35th and is up to 16th right now. So a lot of movers right now in this race. Again, I mean that's Talladega, Daytona for you. That's how that always goes. But yeah, so definitely have a lot of comers and goers here so far this evening. But it's all going to change here, I'm sure, from lap to lap, really.
I'm surprised you don't see it much, but you got Raymond. We haven't really heard much from him. He's back there, and I believe it's 18th place possibly. But it looks like he has his teammate Kevin Hash behind him, and so I'm not counting them out either.
No, yeah, never count Raymond out. He's always got the tricks up his sleeve. I mean, he's always one to contend. Obviously, him and the one were the ones to beat last season, season 4. So. Again, I feel like everybody's been stepping up their game here in Season 5. So he's definitely got some more competition this season to compete against. But even with that, though, you can never count Raymond out. Yeah, but right now, everybody's still running pretty well here, 2x2. Again, we talked about those 200-mile-an-hour pace laps, and that's pretty much what we got going right now. That top line's kind of leveled out here. Still have Logan Helton leading that bottom line. John Mullins trying to make this topside happen. He had a really good run a little earlier, just couldn't quite clear himself. But Mark Brown looks like he's back onto that bumper, that 64. See if they're able to push each other forward here.
Yeah, maybe they've calmed down a little bit now, and I'm really looking forward to green flag stop just to see what people do. Are they going to take 2 tires, no tires? How's it going to work out, and where they're going to come out?
And actually, speaking of that just reminded me, actually, as soon as you said that, is Charles Johnson, that 28 car. He's going to be due to pit here fairly soon. I say he's showing 28 laps on this run. We talked about the run being around 25 or so. We had some yellow laps. So I'm actually going to focus on this 28 car and see if he's going to have to duck off on his own here, potentially. If he can go about 5, maybe 6 more laps, I say 5 more laps realistically. I don't think he can go 6. I don't even know if he can go 5. He might be able to stretch it here, but he's going to have to do some pretty severe saving to be able to make it to the end. So we'll have to see if the strategy is going to pan out for him as well. And we talked about everybody stepping up their strategies and competition too. That's going to be the next question is everybody going to pit once the window opens? Are they going to stretch it a little bit? Are they going to run it till they have to pit? There's so many different options that you can do here at Talladega. Of course, you just got to make sure you have enough fuel to make it to the end, which, I don't think the window's open. And here he comes, Charles Johnson in the pits. Nobody with him, so this is going to be a bit of a bad situation for him. He's not going to be able to make it to the end either, I don't think, right now. So he's going to have to hope for a little bit of luck, I believe, to kind of help his cause out here. But yeah, so right now, though, again, still have pretty much this whole group top 30 up pretty much here all together. Again, I think right now we're showing about the 88 Michael Spells, kind of the last one hanging on to this lead pack here, just cruising right now. Probably saving fuel. So again, that's going to let you take a little less fuel at the end of at the stop, which could definitely benefit you. I say one driver I noticed I hadn't mentioned yet is that 084 of Len McNeese, and say he's in that Western Auto paint scheme. So I'm a little biased. I love that Western Auto car. Was a Darrell Waltrip fan growing up. So started 39th up to 19th. So really good job for Len. I say again, I think he's relatively new here as well. So this is a really good way to get things settled in and get familiar with everybody around you. And I say definitely the way to earn respect with your fellow drivers here, keeping things clean and out of trouble.
So what's your strategy when you're up front like this? Let's keep it
As we see here
like
comes,
this. Yeah.
I see a few cars a little higher than they need to be. So we talked about how you have to be careful and run that top side if you are getting lapped like Charles Johnson is. But you can see he's done exactly what he had to do there. He ran up against the wall. He's going to try to blend in right here. It looks like he's going to get there right in front of, again, that, who's that there? I always lost the car number. Ted Decker there. So that was perfect, perfect example of how you want to try to make that happen. Drivers did a good job giving each other room, because that's always when you're kind of sweating bullets there.
And another reason I'm not a big fan of Superspeedway.
That's easy at Talladega. You got more room, but
Yeah,
on the
not
strategy
Daytona.
portion, yeah, not at Daytona though. On the strategy side of things, I mean, to me, again, especially with the potential of those three green-white checkers, I think I go a couple laps past the scheduled distance, or let me rephrase, go maybe a lap or two past the pit window. So let's say if you can go 24, 25 laps, maybe I'm going to pit with 20 to go or somewhere in that window, just to make sure you have enough to get to the end and have the potential of those green-white checkers. But as we say that, though, it's going to not come to fruition because we have a caution. And it looks like some of those a little further in the pack were involved. So it looks, oh, Raymond Rittenauer is involved. He's missing the rear spoiler and deck lid of that car. I think Charles Johnson and Josh Sichterman may be involved as well. Yep, Josh has definitely got a motor down there. Let's take a look. Charles definitely has some damage as well. So that did not go to plan for some of these drivers. Let's go and see what brought this one out.
I'm watching that replay. You'll get to it, but it looks like Charles got loose in the corner there and kind of came down and tagged the back of Raymond, unfortunately.
Alright, just about got pulled up here. Alright, we'll take a look at that 28 of Charles Johnson as they entered turn one. You're right, he just got loose there on the top side. And then, yeah, just nothing Raymond can do, unfortunately. And then those behind as well, just hoping they can sneak their way through. Looks like, looks like you got the 3 involved. Looks like the 48 may have lucked his way through there. See, a couple guys may have getting some phantom, just kind of lucking out and sneaking around some of these cars. Actually not getting damage from it. See, 05 is involved as well. But it looks like a couple drivers may have gotten away with it. So yeah, so that's going to put us under yellow. I think it's going to put us right in the pit window too. So I think you're going to see everybody here fill up with tires and fuel, and they're going to go after it here. So I'll say we'll jump to our leaders here, let them make their pit stops. So yeah, we'll step away for just a moment. We'll watch these pit stops, and then we'll regroup with our restarting grid here on the one to go. All right, lights are off of the pace car. Looks like Dude Conrad going to be shown as our race leader. Mark Brown in second, Logan Helton third, and then Eric Laurie will be in fourth. Still showing 31 drivers on the lead lap. Looks like we've got a couple one lap down. I'm showing Charles Teed, Charles Johnson, and Dwight Plesh. 2 down, you have Raymond Rittenauer, John Brill, and Mark Robillas, unfortunately. So let's say, however, there's also a few, I know Mark Robillas there, he's going to hope for a quick yellow because he's going to have to pit here in just a few laps. He had to do the wave around there, try to get one of those laps back. So just having try some strategy here, see if he can make something happen. Unfortunately, didn't catch this a little earlier. Looks like, unfortunately, Andrew Schroeder and Chad Wilkes have retired from the race. They're showing in 39th and 40th, respectively. And I'm actually showing now that Charles Teed is disconnected, but I'm not sure if that might be a connection thing or not. So we'll wait, keep an eye on him for sure. But I say, so we still have 31 on the lead lap. Again, we got those Dude Conrad here, Mark Brown leading the front row. Second row is Eric Laurie and Logan Helton. We're going to restart here with 22 to go. Pit window should be good to go now for fuel for everybody. So now I think we're going to see a lot more aggression.
Logan had a good run on that, pushing Dude to the front, still pushing him.
Yeah, really good restart for that bottom row here. So they might be able to actually clear that 68 car here entering turn number 1. And so now the question is at 63, we talked about those teammates and how well they work together. Are they going to stay locked up here, or is Logan going to try to jump to the top here when he sees the momentum shift? Right now it looks like he's pretty committed, and sure enough, there goes the 63 to the top side, and Logan's going to stay committed. Oh yeah, right here comes Matt Quick in the 89 car. He's going to push that 64 of John Mullins to the front here, or try to push him to the front. So we're going to be coming around to 21 to go. And we mentioned Eric Schaus. He's now that third car on the inside groove. So I think we're going to see Business B picking up here a little bit. You can see how aggressive the drafting is right now through the trial at 63. Logan Helton just completely locked onto that 8 car.
Yeah, he might be 16 years old, but he sure doesn't drive like a 16-year-old. He can drive.
Yeah, so the danger is when he gets his actual driver's license, like, all right, so you can't do what you do in iRacing, right?
Right.
But yeah, right now another thing he's got to be careful about too is watch those temps. He has to make sure he didn't push for too long and get that car too hot. He's gonna have to get some clean air on it. You can do that here just by ducking out just a little bit. You can see right there he had his left nose point stuck out just a little bit. Get a little bit of clean air off of that number 8 car. Because again, if he stays locked on too long, that will definitely get that oil and water temps too high. And as I said, they're going to catch Mark Robillas here in the 99. See Mark trying to get up top to the wall, touches the outside wall just a little bit, but looks like so far so good for him. Looks like he'll be able to sneak around and get away with things. Just try to grab back onto the back of this draft here. Unfortunately, so he had to make that pit stop. So now he's showing 3 laps down at the moment.
So if you're running in the front like that, and we're right borderline, I believe we're borderline fuel window, should be able to make it. Is that 8 car? Is he good on fuel, you think?
I think he's going to be all right. So I'm sure they were clutching under that yellow. So these guys are really good at saving fuel. So I actually should have looked to see if they had the engine off while they're riding under yellow there. Kind of guessing that they were. So I feel like if I'm those top 2 right in that front row, I feel pretty good about my fuel situation. I think we're too far in the race now to save things right now. I'm getting some really good insight here in the chat on YouTube. Let's say Doug Johnson's kind of given some insight here. We mentioned that whole thing about cars potentially ghosting through other cars under caution. Sounds like if sometimes if the cars all 4 wheels aren't on the ground, sometimes you can kind of get away with it and sneak through them without actually getting damage. And then the other thing is actually if you have your left side out from the car in front of you, that's going to cool your water. If you have the right side out, that's going to cool your oil. So kind of actually have to bounce it a little bit. Oh no, the C72 here has got. I think he caught the apron there, saying that's going to involve a lot of cars. That is going to be the big one for sure. Here at Daytona, see a lot of cars involved there. Unfortunately, Eric Schaus caught that inside. So you're trying to get back going here. Got to be careful with all those other cars coming up to the pack here. But that's a big incident there. Let's go ahead and see how this one all started here.
It's bound to happen. It always does, especially when it's at the front of the pack.
Yeah, so I don't think it was anything intentional. I think it was just I think he may have just caught the apron. We've talked about how, just how tricky it is to sometimes hit that at the wrong place, wrong time. So let's say we'll watch here with that 72 car. You see he's right behind the 63. And yeah, it looks like he just gets onto the apron, tries to correct it, and unfortunately it just hooks, and nowhere for those cars around him to go. You see the 10, the 1, the 071 all involved. You see some of those further cars further back here, the 123, the 084. So it's going to be hard to try to keep track of who was involved. You see a few, let's say you see Jack Walls, and 83 just gets a little bit of contact. The 123 is in there as well. Oh, the 80, the Michael Spell's in this one as well. So a lot of cars. Oh, and they, unfortunately, some of these cars make contact after they try to get back up to speed as well. Again, I'm running super slow-mo, so this is all happening much faster than it actually is showing there. But yeah, so that's a lot of drivers involved in this this caution here. So that's, I mean, it's going to be what the leaders were hoping for on the fuel side of things. They're going to be able to save a little bit more. But yeah, so it actually looks like at the time of the caution, John Mullins at 64 was showing as our race leader. So he's going to take hang on to the lead here as as this caution comes out. So I say we'll keep an eye on things for the pit stops. We'll let you know what happens once we get back to go on this once we get to the one to go, I should say. But yeah, I think we're going to see most of the lead lap cars stay out here. So we'll step away for just a moment and we'll be back with you shortly. Alright, lights are off. You see that inside row is going to be the 64 John Mullins, 63 Logan Helton. Outside row is going to be the 8 of Dude Conrad and the 89 of Matt Quick. Lucky Dog went to the 28 of Charles Johnson. He's back on the lead lap here. Looks like we're going to have about 28 drivers, I believe, still on the lead lap here as well. And yeah, looks like the top 10 all stayed out under this yellow from 11th on back. Went ahead and topped off with fuel, probably did some fast repairs. So we'll have a little bit of mixed fuel strategies here. Again, I believe the leaders can easily make it to the finish. Can they make it to the green-white checkers is another story. So
Right.
that could come into play if we get all three especially. Yeah, so say some of those drivers that were able to benefit from this caution, though, are the 25 Kevin Freese. He's now showing in the 6th position. So he's been able to kind of get back up there. And, of course, we had to mention that 199 of Josh Sichterman. He is now in the 8th position. Evan Pienta in 9th. Ryan Wachter in 10th. So they definitely made some gains here from this caution.
See if Logan gets another good start. Pushes, what is that, the 64 car?
Yeah, as John Mullins say, we are underway, and it looks like he does right on the back, but that top side's working really well too. Matt Quick and Duke Conrad here locked up, and the 25 going to jump in here as well. And you see right off the bat that 199 is able to get to the bottom here, so right now it looks like it's a 4-on-3 for the initial start, and it looks like that inside line is moving right now.
It sure is. We've got to see what happens to this outside line now. They should get a pretty good run.
Yeah, so now the question is going to be if anybody gets enough of a gap, will they actually try to jump to the top? As I don't know if that, yeah, it looks like the top line's starting to get that momentum now as we speak. I was curious if Mark Brown's going to try to jump to the top. It doesn't look like he was quite able to get there. But I see Logan Helton poking out here. He's going to pick up that 8 of Duke Conrad. Oh, as he gets a little squirrely with him trying to make that push there. So I think these are teammates here working together as they go through the tri-oval.
Looks like dude's trying to repay the help that it gave him that last run.
Yeah, again, we talked about that teamwork, and I think it's coming into play again. I believe these top 3, or the top 3 on the outside line, I believe those are all teammates. I think 25 maybe as well. And again, we talked about from the get-go how unselfish these drivers are, so I think we might be seeing that again this evening. But again, the inside line still holding strong, though. So it looks like John Mullins getting a really good push there from Mark Brown. So we're going to see how they go through turns 3 and 4. It looks like John Mullins may have a lead here as they go through the turn. Yeah, that outside's got such momentum, though, after the turn. I almost always see a couple just touching the apron there. Oh, no, if I talked to the bad luck, it looks like the 50, David Leclerc, he's going to get it gathered back up. Went for a ride. He is going to keep it clean, though. He's going to try to get it back on track as safely as possible. So you see some of those other cars going around, but he's going to be able to get back up and going, it looks like. So I say it's unfortunate that a little bit of an accordion effect there. However, Logan Helton, though, he's going back to the bottom line here, actually. So Duke Conrad now is going to run the top. I wonder if Logan saw that bottom line get that big push and get ahead of him. He's kind of rethinking that middle top side.
Yeah, that outside lane had a pretty good run going, and it kind of died off probably when Logan jumped down to the bottom. But let's say that it looks like here it comes again.
Yeah, I say Matt Quick's going to pick that up again and say we're 11 to go here. Say they're coming up on, it looks like the 76 car. So I say we got to talk about that 2-wide, 3-wide passing that you have to do sometimes, getting around that lap traffic. So we'll see if that comes into play or not. But right now, though, the inside line looking pretty strong here again. And say it looks like John Mullins doing a pretty good job here of pushing that 63 of Logan Helton. And saying it looks like Mark Brown there a little bit off of the 64 car. As you can see, they're coming up on that 76 car pretty quickly as they go through 3 and 4.
Time to white knuckle as we pass the lap car here.
Yeah, so we'll jump to him and see if they're able to get through cleanly. You can see he still has a lot of damage, but he's going to try to see if he can salvage some points probably. As you can see what he's doing right there, he's pretty much right up against the wall as much as he can be, giving everybody else a little bit of room. And say, unfortunately, doing what I would do, give a little bit too much room and catch the wall just a little bit. However, it looks like everybody's going to get through unscathed. So, great job by those guys being able to get through that. Well, let's say everybody's going to breathe a sigh of relief because from where I'm looking at, it looks like they've got about a 3/4 lap gap until the next car. They might have to look at lapping here.
And it looks like John Mullins jumped up to the top groove, and
we got
now
a
he's challenging for the lead
here. Looks like 79 of Ted Deckard is involved. So let's go see what brought out this most recent yellow. So it's definitely going to be a benefit for some of these drivers. I believe Dwight Plesh might be big contact after the hit there with that 48 and the 50 there. That's very unfortunate for both of them. I was going to say it's going to be a big, actually I was going to say it's going to be a big benefit for the 50 to get him back on up to speed with everybody. But yeah, that was a heavy hit for those two. Let's go and see first what happened, and then we can see that contact afterwards. Like they're going down the backstretch here. You can see Ted gets a little bit squirrely there, and he gets contact from that car behind him. So I think that was the 03, I believe, of Kevin Hash. So he's just trying to push him, try to help him catch up, but unfortunately, they made contact with each other. Nothing intentional, just that drafting gone wrong, if you will. But then afterwards, though, say that 48 though is trying to get back on track here, and let's see, you'll see here from the distance, you see that 50 car. Probably trying to guess. Probably where Ted Deckard was going. You can see he's getting on the throttle and just gets loose again as he gets under throttle. Thinks he's going to the top. He goes low, and then just heavy contact between the two of them. Just unfortunate situation there. Again, just nothing intentional, but definitely not what you want to see there. So looks like they're going to get some fast repairs done to their cars and try to get back out into the race. However, we have leaders coming up to the start-finish line here. And looks like it's going to be close between that 50 if he's going to be able to beat the leaders out of the pits. Looks like he's just going to do it, though. So David Leclerc is going to stay on the lead lap. Close call there. So again, it looks like the beneficiary of this one, I believe, is going to be the 44 of Dwight Plush. That should get him back onto the lead lap. See Dwight there waiting or staying on the top side, waiting for everybody to move out of the way. So right now we are with 8 to go. We're going to probably restart with about 6 to go. So we'll do is we'll step away again for just a moment, and we'll get things going again on the 1 to go. Alright, lights are off of the pace car here. So we are on the 1 to go. So you can see that inside row is going to be the 64 of John Mullins. He's got the 8 of Jude Conrad behind him. Matt Quick in that 5th position. That top side is going to be Logan Helton, Mark Brown, and then Josh Sichterman. Those are going to be those front 3 on this restart. Again, that's going to be critical. It's not going to be necessarily these front row cars. It's going to be those behind them, how well they're able to get to those bumpers and push them and try to get that momentum and get them around. We're going to restart with 6 to go, so still a lot of time for anything to happen. We're definitely going to see some aggression pick up here. Definitely have to mention the 44 Dwight Plush, as he did get his lap back. Right now showing 29 on the lead lap. Michael Spell showing at the moment as the last car on the lead lap. Then you have Raymond Rittenauer, John Brill showing as 2 laps down, Mark Rubilis and Jim Brooks showing as 3 laps down. Unfortunately, Robbie Richards has retired from the race, as has Josh Garner. So those drivers are no longer in this event. But yeah, so I don't know. I say it's gonna be pretty exciting here, Roy. I think we're gonna see some pretty serious bump drafting now.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting now. I don't know who's behind Logan here, trying to catch his number.
Mark Brown, the 68.
Yeah, we'll see how this one goes. It'll be a good race.
Yeah, I say the teammates are a little bit split up here. I feel like, I mean, obviously Logan wishes he was on the bottom with Jude Conrad. I think they'd work really well together if that was the case. But we are underway. Really good start, actually, from that 64. John Mullins, he was on it there. However, you see Logan Helton actually able to get to the bottom right away. So this might be a benefit here. We'll see how everything cycles out. You can see that everybody's jumping to the inside right away. So actually, this is going to leave Mark Brown, unfortunately, out to dry on that outside line here.
Yeah, I was curious if, there he goes right there. I was curious if Logan was just going to use him to draft up and then go around the outside of him, and it looks like he did. Now he's got Dude pushing him pretty well, as always, behind him.
Yeah, so where that teamwork comes into play. I was a little surprised that Matt Quick didn't jump outside with him too. Say Mark Brown able to recover though. He's now in that third. I say not what he wanted obviously, but now he's going to be at least be that third car in the top row. And so you see here that 199 Josh Sichterman running that inside line here. He's that third car on the bottom row, and we're going to see it looks like 3 wide is thinking about being formed here. Again, we talked about that aggression picking up. It is definitely getting there. You see drivers trying to kind of jockey for positions where we are on the 5 to go, so he's still got a few laps to go. Right behind Josh, you have that 0.52 of Joe Della Vecchia. He's been having a really solid run this evening as well. As I say that, we have a caution a little further in the back here, trying to see who and where and what. Looks like the 71 possibly. Oh, we got a lot of cars involved in this one here. Let's go ahead and see what happened on this yellow. Alright, so we're watching that number 10 of Corey Lane. Looks like it may have started right around him, unfortunately. So we're trying to watch, see as he goes. Oh, you can see contact between him and the 55. Say they make the initial contact, but say that you can see here there's a bunch of drivers with a huge head of steam coming right behind. Say they got the 81 here of Todd Merkel, Charles Johnson, the 50. Say that's so it's the 50-024. 71. You see so many cars involved in this one. It's definitely the another big one, I guess, if you will. So yeah, say a little bit of net code. You're right, Doug. But yes, I think that contact was going to happen one way or the other. And so you see the 87 here. So it's going to be critical for him if he was able to sneak through this or not, because if he was, that should get him one of those 2 laps back. So we'll watch Raymond here, see if he's able to get around it. Oh, as he was almost good, but then he got caught by the 44 Dwight Plesh. So unfortunately, I think that's going to not give Raymond an opportunity to get one of those laps back. So the next question is if that 90 of John Brill, if he was able to get around it. It looks like his car looked pretty clean. So unfortunately, Raymond may get burned on this yellow and may not get that lucky dog there. So we'll jump back up to the front here. And again, right now, so again, there's a little bit of a shakeup here, waiting for the lineup to update here. But it looks like now we've got the top 5 showing as John Mullins, Matt Quick, Josh Sichterman, Logan Hilton, and Dude Conrad. So we talked about those green-white checkers coming into play, and this is going to be attempt number 1. We're definitely going to get into that. So say while these drivers go ahead and run around under yellow, getting probably some more damage fixed, some fast repairs done. We'll update you on who gets that free pass, and then we'll rejoin you here just in a little bit. Alright, back on the 1 to go. Again, this is going to be attempt number 1 for green-white checkered finish. We do have up to 3 attempts, so this is going to be the first attempt. Unfortunately, it looks like that last incident there, unfortunately, Mitchell Wilkes and Dwight Plesh had to retire from the evening. Definitely not the nights they were hoping to have there. But yeah, so say again, we're going to talk about this drafting. You're going to see that 64 John Mullins and the 89 Matt Quick. Matt's had a really good, he's going to have a really good drafting partner with that 63 of Logan Helton. I believe they are teammates, so I feel like you're going to see those two probably be pretty dedicated to each other. And then we've also seen Logan be a really good pusher as well, so we'll have to wait and see. So again, so basically what's going to happen here is we're going to get the green flag. If they get to the white flag and then there's an incident, they're still going to race back to the finish. However, if there's a caution that comes out before the white flag, they'll line them up where they'll kind of grid them from where the caution occurred, and they'll line them up and they'll try it 2 more times. However, if they have a caution before the white flag on the 3rd time, that's just where that finish will end up here. So yeah, so there's definitely a couple potential outcomes for how this race can go. But it's definitely going to be getting pretty exciting here. Say a lot of cars definitely in contention. We've seen definitely some comers and goers. John Mullen started 28th in the lead right now. Josh Sichterman started 19th, showing in 3rd. Art Peck was started 35th and is up into that 9th position there, so a really good run for him as well. Evan Pienta started 34th and is in 10th, so a lot of potential here on this restart. Say we're going to be restarting here with 2 to go. Basically, again, this is green white checker attempt number 1. And we are underway here at Daytona.
Yeah, a little bit of checkup behind Dude.
Yeah, actually at 64 again got a huge jump there. I'm not sure if he's just getting better restarts or if he's trying to time it or what. But again, he jumped up to the lead here right away. But again, at plate racing, that's not a good thing. And you can see that happening right now. You see that 89 car, Matt Quick, he's going to get a lot of momentum. We talked about that push. Logan Helton being a really good drafter. You see Josh is locked onto that 64 now as well. So I say it's right now it's just pretty much a pushing battle here. It looks like Matt's going to get the lead. He's going to drop to the bottom just in front of John. Oh, we got a little bit of contact. Oh, we got trouble. I think this is going to be, yep, that's going to bring out a yellow. That's going to give us attempt number 2.
Oh, and Josh lost it coming out of that. Looks like he was trying to check up a little bit.
Yeah, let's go and see how this all unfolded here. It looked like it started around, it kind of started, I think, with the 89 dropping to the bottom. Just everybody started kind of stacking up a little bit. So, I mean, that's Daytona. It's what you're going to see here. So, let's say we're going to focus here on that number 8 initially, at least, of Dude Conrad. We'll watch to see how this all kind of unfolded here. We'll watch from the blimp views. Probably gives a pretty good angle. You can see that 64 kind of stacked up behind the 89. Say Josh had to react. He washed up a little bit, and then the 8, he had to let up. He got to the apron, and then unfortunately that 25 car that made contact with Evan Pienta, and then just from there, I say it was just kind of on from there. Unfortunately, you see some of these other drivers. The 25 is involved as well. It's like seeing who else is caught up in this one. Oh, the 084. Oh, heavy contact for Art Peck and Jack Walls there. They go for a ride. So yeah, so a lot of cars, a lot of damage here. So definitely another big one, unfortunately, tonight at Daytona. But yeah, so that's going to give us attempt number 2 now of the green white checker. And again, so we got some new contenders here up front. Oh, it looks like Eric Laurie was involved as well in that 071. I just saw him sliding by a little further back. So yeah, a lot of damage for some of these cars. And I think it's going to unfortunately knock a few more out of this one. As I just saw, it looks, I believe, well, actually, all of the things updates. I think some may be retired, but maybe not yet. So, so I'm showing Art Peck possibly may have retired from the evening, but yeah. So we'll let everything sort through here. Again, we talked about the fuel potential too. Again, I think the leaders will still be okay because we've had a good number of yellows here at the final run. However, if fuel does come into potential though, that 052 Joe Della Vecchia, he's in the good spot right now because he's got about 8 laps less of fuel. Coming around the top side is the 90 of John Brill. So actually John went from 2 laps down to being back into the lead lap. So that's going to be huge for John. So he could still actually have a good recovery in this race here and salvage a pretty good finish. So I say never give up. You never know what's going to happen here. So again, I'll say while we're under yellow, we'll step away for just a moment. I see the 199 jumping off. There he goes. Okay, I was a little worried there. He's getting going again now. So yeah, so we'll step away for just a moment, and then we'll get things going here on the one to go. right, the lights are off on the pace car. Say again, looks like the racing order is going to change up a little bit here. Matt Quick showing as the leader, John Mullins in second, Logan Hilton in third, Joe Della Vecchia in fourth, Mark Brown in fifth, and Jude Conrad is in sixth. So again, this is attempt number 2. So again, if they can get to the white flag, they will race back to the checkered. However, if a caution comes out before then, like that last time, they'll do it one more time and say, however, that will be the last time if that does come into potential here. I see everybody trying to get lined up here for position, trying to get everybody a little further back. So up front, though, Matt Quick on the inside, John Mullins to the outside. Green flag is back in the air, and again, that 64 gets a huge jump on the initial start. Again, I'm not sure if he's got it just down perfectly or not. But yeah, so he's going to get the lead here. He's going to jump to the inside. Now we'll see what Matt Quick is able to do. He goes to the top, and he's going to try to use that momentum here as they go through turns 1 and 2. You see the 63 Logan Helton. He's going to jump to the back of that 89 car as well. And so you're going to see it looks like we got trouble in the back. We're going to have to do this one more time, guys. We got more problems in the back there. I think I saw the 071 and the 80. I definitely saw the 83 go for a bit of a ride there. Yeah, he's got motor damage. So let's go ahead and see what happened on this yellow. But yeah, this is going to give us the last attempt of a green-white checkered finish here. Alright, got it pulled up here. So it looks like it started around that 071 of Eric Laurie. Let's say we'll go ahead and try to take a look as it goes through. See 72 right on the back of him. That's not good. There we go. Looks like 070 Eric. Looks like he washes up just a little bit. And so I think Eric Schaus is probably just underneath him. I say they're going to make contact there. Say just aggression, I think, picking up here at the very end of these races. So yeah, you're going to see that right front to left rear contact, and say from there, there's nothing the Eric Laurie can do there. So that's going to send him around. And say unfortunately right into the path of Jack Wall's heavy contact for that 83 car. He gets a bit of a shot there, and then you see the 024 just nowhere for him to go. He gets right into it as well. And it looks like a few drivers trying to sneak around this one. Again, trying to get a few more spots if they can. But yeah, so looks like maybe about a 2-3 car crash. You see a few just sneaking through there. So yeah, though, however, that's going to again put us back under yellow. Up front, though, actually showing now Matt Quick as the leader from that last yellow. So again, so we'll do again one more time here is we'll step away for just a moment, and then we'll regroup again on the 1 to go. All right, we've got the lights off again on the pace car. Gonna restart here again. This is gonna be the final attempt of these. Again, we said 3 green light checker attempts. This is attempt number 3. So if there is an incident here before they get to the 1 to go, that's how the field's gonna be frozen, and that's how they're gonna finish the evening. So their goal here for tonight is to be able to get to that white flag and race it out. So right now the inside line is Matt Quick. And then you've got Logan Hilton and Mark Brown. On the outside, you've got John Mullins, Joe Delavecchia, and Dude Conrad. We've seen that 64 get some pretty good restarts on here. I say, like, again, the way they go here, they're supposed to go on green. I say either he's got it to a science, or maybe he's trying a different gear that the other drivers aren't using. I'm not sure, but he's been going on these restarts. So we're going to have to see if he's able to get another one of those starts, maybe get to that bottom. Because if he is, I say this might be the perfect attempt for again on this last restart.
Yeah, I'm watching the cockpit view of Mullins. See, man, he got it right off the bat.
So this one's a lot more even this time, but you can see, and also though he was able to ditch the. He's going to leave his help a little bit. That's going to really hurt his cause here on this initial start. Say Matt Quick's got a bumper full of Logan Hilton on that inside line. So now again, we talked about that teamwork though. You see the 68 Mark Brown just clears the 64. So we're going to see who's going to jump to the top. Logan's looking. He's going to go to the top. Looks like the 68's going to actually jump back to the bottom. So now it's going to be battle here on the front here between Logan Hilton and Matt Quick. As I say, that Logan doesn't quite get the push he needs. So right now, Matt Quick is in a pretty good position here.
Well, looks like you got some teammates lined up on that bottom line, ready to go too.
Looks like they're going to get to the white flag, so we're going to get this thing finishing under green. So again, if a crash occurs, they're still going to race back to the finish. Right now, though, up front, Matt Quick on the inside, Logan Hilton to the top side. He needs a little bit more of a push from John Mullins. We've seen John give some pretty good pushes. This is where you gotta start locking bumpers here, though, and just give it everything you've got.
He's got a pretty good push going now.
Yeah, I see Logan's got a little bit of momentum on the top side. He's gonna have to keep that 64 locked to his bumper. They gotta try to stay hooked up as best they can. Again, you're gonna need the momentum, but it looks like they've lost that momentum. I think advantage is gonna go to Matt Quick in that 89 as they come through 3 and 4, coming to the tri-oval at the line. Matt Quick gonna get the win. Looks like Mark Brown's gonna grab second, and Logan Hilton gonna bring it home in third. But man, that was some good drafting, and said they did exactly what they needed to do there. Matt stayed with that bottom, and I actually thought Mark was gonna jump to the top there with Logan, but yeah. So Matt Quick gonna pull off the win here with that number 89 Grumpy Cat machine.
Yeah, it was some good clean racing that last lap. It gets sometimes those leaders get real aggressive, but they did a really good job tonight.
Yeah, it got a little aggressive at the end. That's plate racing. That's part of it. But yeah, so that's gonna give us our race winner this evening here. That number 89 of Matt Quick. So he's had some pretty good runs. I don't know if he's pulled off a win or not in season 4. I have to double check on that one, but he's going to definitely enjoy this one right here. You can see he's already kind of weaving the car back and forth here as he approaches the tri-oval. We're definitely going to get a word with our top 3 finishers, with Logan Hilton, Mark Brown, and Matt Quick. Hopefully they're all available here on Discord, and so while we watch this burnout, we'll start getting everybody ready here in just a moment. All right, well, while we're watching that, so we're going to go ahead and pull up our 3rd place finisher, that number 63 of Logan Hilton. Able to pull off that 3rd place finish there. Just didn't get the push he needed to at the very end, but definitely gave it his all. But I'll say it was definitely a good run there. So you went to the top side. I thought you had the help from the 68, but it looked like he kind of snookered you at the end and went back to the bottom. I'll say you still got help, but I don't know if maybe just lost that little bit of momentum you needed there at the very end.
Uh, yes, that's what happened. Sorry, I didn't know you were talking to me.
I am. I'll say I want to pull you in here to say get that third place finish there tonight. So you were definitely up front most of the evening. Definitely gave it a really good challenge there. But yeah, I guess first off, just take us through the race. Let's say, was there anything that stood out to you for the most part with Daytona tonight?
Nah, not really. I expected it to be, too wide and not much passing except just the top 5 guys, and that's pretty much what it was. I got a little worried whenever I fell back to out of the top 10 because I knew it's really hard to pass, but sometimes you get the big runs on either the high side or the low side that help you out, and luckily I got a couple of those lucky breaks, which let me stay up there in the top 5 pretty much all night long.
Yeah, I was gonna say you were definitely up front all evening. So I mean, you did an awesome job. So I know you had have had some. So I'm pretty sure you have some people watching you this evening. So definitely want to give you an opportunity for any thanks and shouts you'd like to give for anybody watching or any sponsors, anything like that for your run this evening.
Yeah, thanks my family and friends that are watching the race, and thanks my sponsors RGC Media, LKH Graphics, Jones Racing Setups, and thanks to Cystic Fibrosis Foundation for being on the car, and thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast and everyone at Area 51 that helps put this on, and congratulations to Matt for the win.
So I definitely enjoyed the result though this tonight, Logan. So you had a really good run this evening. I'm pretty sure this will be one of many. Say I've seen you in contention a lot of times, so finally able to get towards the front and say look forward to chatting with you again soon here.
Thank you.
All right, that was our third place finisher there, Logan Helton. So we're gonna pull up now our second place finisher in that number 68 of Mark Brown. Whoop, as we go super speed there. All right, let's grab that number 68 of Mark Brown, our second place finisher this evening. Did a really good job of pushing Matt there at the end. I thought you were going to jump up with Logan, then you went up top, then it looked like you jumped to the bottom. Was that kind of part of the game plan, or Jose, what was your mindset there coming to the checkered there?
Well, I really didn't have any plan. I was wanting to get up there with Logan, but I don't know. I just stayed behind Matt and pushed him on around.
I say you were definitely a pretty good pusher this evening. I say it just seemed like if you were able to get the right place at the right time, that was when you were able to make things happen. I mean, I say I'm sure there's only so much you can really plan on, obviously here at Daytona. But did you have any mindset of like where you wanted to be ideally, like towards the end of the race, or is it just kind of play it by ear the whole time?
Well, I think 5th spot was pretty good for today because it seemed to work out for me. The high side, I like the high side, but I don't know. I just couldn't get no runs up there. A couple of restarts, I started second, and I just couldn't get no help from behind me, so I kind of got left in the dust a little bit there. But it was a pretty good run, though.
Yeah, you were up front most of the evening. I mean, you started 12th, so I mean, you had to obviously work your way up a little bit. Definitely did a good job getting up there and then staying there once you did. But yeah, so say definitely want to give you an opportunity here. Any fans, anybody watching, sponsors, things like that. Thanks and shouts you'd like to give for your second place run though tonight.
I'd just like to say thanks to Area 51. All those guys do a great job, do all this and take care of everything. Really don't have no sponsors, but my car is looking for you.
There you go. If you got any sponsors watching, and say take a look at that number 68 of Mark Brown. You can definitely get a nice shiny paint scheme on that. So it's already a good looking paint scheme, but if you want to see your advertising on there, that's always a car to take a look for. Congrats again on that second place finish though, Mark. Look forward to having some future chats with you though in these remaining races.
Look forward to it. Thank you very much.
All right, as our second place finisher, Mark Brown in that number 68 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. And then, of course, we got to make sure we have a chat with our race winner, that grumpy cat machine of Matt Quick in the number 89. It didn't seem like it was one of your teammates this time, Matt. We talked about how well you guys as a team work together at these plate races. So You guys got a little bit mixed up there at the end, but you're able to bring it home with that win this evening. I mean, take us through those final restarts.
I want to call for one. I got lucky just how everything was working out. Playing chess throughout the thing. I made a bad call early. We pitted early to top off, and we got stuck behind a bunch of people in the back there. That's probably the nicest way of putting that. And that was really hard maneuvering between those people. So it took all the strategy to get away from the back. So there was a lot of fuel only going on there. And then the last stop, I was actually planning on doing my last pit stop at lap 51 anyway, because we knew a caution was coming pretty stinking soon. So we wanted to, if it cycled through, we'd be out front. And I was running about like 12th around then. And pitted, came out like 8th, and then somehow just made moves. The outside line was there. And throughout the restarts, I guess I just kept getting lucky. I mean, I know I pushed up John Mullins up there a couple of times, past Dude and Logan. And then, I don't know, just kept making money moves, honestly. And kind of felt like the other dude was kind of jumping on those restarts a little bit, but somehow he got that point where you're too far ahead, and then we all got a run on him, and we passed him anyway, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But yeah, it was a lot of good racing up front there. It got pretty wild. The car can get a little loose a little bit, but you just kind of have to time it, and then you kind of get like the death wobble sometimes when you're pushing somebody. But all in all, I mean, as you know, a lot of these races are luck, and then you got to there's so many chess moves in between, and you got to make the right move, and you don't know if you made the right move or not till the end of the race, essentially, because they all just had to equal up, and you had to time them perfect, because that's how you avoid all the wrecks. I mean, there's a couple of wrecks that are right behind me. If I was behind them, I would have been dead meat sauce along with Ray Rittenhour and Kevin Hash back there. So, but all in all, pure luck.
So luck can only take you so far. You obviously got to put yourself in the right positions to contend for the win. So don't sell yourself short there, Matt. You did an awesome job tonight. I'm sure that Grumpy Cat's a little less grumpy this evening. It might only last for an hour or two, but again, really good job this evening. And definitely, though, can't let you go without giving any opportunity for any thanks and shouts you'd like to give for pulling off the win this evening, though.
Well, I want to thank Green White Checkered TV here for broadcasting the race, and everybody that puts on this league. I know it's a big pain in the butt to listen to all our moaning or groaning all the time and trying to keep people calm down. And I finally want to thank my teammates Kevin Hash and Ray Rittenhour. And the strategy didn't work out for them. Like I said, it's all about making the chess moves, and hopefully you make the right move or not. So just want to thank you guys all. Thank you.
I'll say congrats again on the win. Enjoy it, and I'll say look forward to watching you race some more here in the coming weeks.
All right. See you guys next week.
All right, that was our race winner there, Matt Quick, in that number 89 Grumpy Cat Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. So I'll say before we go through our final results here, any final thoughts on your end here, Roy?
No, overall, it was a pretty good race. It's Daytona, so expect some cautions like that. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Interesting trying to see what they were going to try to do at the very end. Listening to Matt is interesting, seeing how he had to work his way from the back and what his strategy was. So yeah, it was a good night.
Yeah, so it's not always all straightforward. It's like, okay, yeah, he started 7th, finished 1st. Like, okay, whatever. Yeah, who's up front all race? So it's like, no, let's say that doesn't always tell the whole tale sometimes. Let's say sometimes the pit strategy doesn't go your way. So now say that's always comes into play potentially. Say John Mullins is one that started towards the back in 28th, came home in the top 5. So a really good run for him as well.
That was a good run.
Yeah, so this is one of those things you never know how it's going to pan out. Say we mentioned a little earlier that 084 of Len McNeese actually brought it home 11th after starting 39th, so also a really great run for him. So with that, though, let's pull up our results here. Show our top 10 here. You see Matt Quick able to hold off Mark Brown, Logan Helton for the win. Dude Conrad in 4th, John Mullins 5th. In 6th is Joe Della Vecchia, Kevin Freese in 7th. Brendan Pasalacqua in 8th. So I didn't mention him very much, but he came back towards the front there at the very end, so a really good job for him. Kevin Hash in 9th, and then Corey Lane rounds out the top 10. We got 11th through 20th here. We mentioned Len McNeese there getting that 11th place spot. Dale Willoughby brings it home in 12th. 13th, you got Dalton Hayes. Evan Pienta, a good recovery after one of those earlier incidents. Eric Schaus in 15th. Gabe Butler in 16th. Not the night he was definitely looking for. Ted Decker Jr. in 17th. John Brill recovering from those 2 laps down to finish 18th. Ryan Wachter in 19th. And Michael Spell rounds out our top 20. You can see 21st through 30th there. Unfortunately, some of these drivers involved in some incidents are not able to get some of the laps back that they're hoping for at the very end. And then, of course, our remainder of the field here. Say again, some of the drivers just not having the nights they're looking for, unfortunately. So, however, say this was race number 2, I believe. So we've still got a ways more to go. I believe it's a 12 race season. So still a lot of time for some of these drivers to make some moves, get back to the front. But let's say for tonight, though, Matt Quick in that number 89 Grumpy Cat Chevrolet able to pull off the win this evening at Daytona. So congrats again to him and the top 3, Mark Brown and Logan Hilton. So until Tuesday night, we got the Indy cars coming up then. So again, hope you enjoy your evening. I'm sure everybody's getting ready for their work week next week. So again, if at all possible, try to stay home, stay safe, wash your hands. And until Tuesday, take care.